Hey, scrappy people. Tracy Reed here today, coming at you with a layout in my most recent vacation album, our road trip to Louisiana to visit my dad for his birthday. We surprised him. If you haven't seen that reel, it's on my Instagram page and it is so sweet. So we surprised him for his birthday, and one of the things that my dad really loves to do is feed us. Oh my gosh, I think I ate more food than was strictly necessary. But these are photos of us canning salsa. I also have these photos of him making meatballs, and like my dad's really great with the smoker, so I have those too. And I initially was going to make this one layout, but there's a lot going on here, and I don't think that I can manage making this one layout. So I'm not sure if I'm going to scrap these photos as well, or if I'm just going to go all in on the salsa and do the meatballs at a different time. But let's start there. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have a 6x8 on this side, I think in the red, obviously. So a 6x8 here. It's a little bit wider. It's like 6.5 inches, which is actually, it's 7 inches out of the pocket. So this is only 6.5 and this is only 6.5. And to have things out of the pocket in a 6x8 album is actually 7 inches, and so I'm not sure if I'm gonna bother extending it or if I'm just gonna do this whole album as a 6.5 inch wide thing. I might extend it just so that you can't see the pages behind it. Anyway, that is a problem for me, not for you. But what I think I'm gonna do is I'm going to create a pocket at the bottom here somehow for these film strips to come in and out of. And then I think I'm going to do a divider in the middle. I'm not necessarily this paper, but some divider in the middle with this photo and maybe the title, and then on the other side the journaling, because I really want to talk about how my dad loves to can. So yeah, anyway, long story short, that's for me to figure out and for you to watch. So let's get started. So this is one of those layouts that I kind of like had to, you envision adding so much to it and then it ends up so simple. And you know me, I am not a simple scrapbooker. So having a simple layout was definitely a stretch for me. And I so wanted to add more and more to this page, but everything that I added just kind of kept making it not work. So this page ends up being pretty simple but still adorable, and what's more important is that it really captures the emotion of the visit with my dad, who is in poor health, and just being with him, which I think is important. So I created a pocket by just cutting the bottom half of one of those pieces of paper diagonally with a little bit of a lip down there at the bottom. Because it is a bit of a smaller sheet of paper, it perfectly added a little edge for the inside where the holes go, so I didn't have to worry about that. And now I'm trying to figure out where I want to put everything, and I really like that photo on top of the pocket. So I'm sort of readjusting what I want to do here and refiguring out where I want to add things. So I'm definitely going to put this on this pocket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my title to that 4x6 card in the center that I'm going to use as a divider. I like how the 4x6 card still shows my dad. It will he will still be kind of looking out around it. It's one of my favorite pictures ever of my dad. You can tell he just told some kind of stupid or dirty dad joke by his grin. That's the grin he always gets when he's told a silly joke. So I just love it because it's an authentic smile, and I want to make sure that I don't cover it up in any way. So I'm really glad that that 4x6 will perfectly frame it. Now, I backed the two film strips with that yellow paper because the photo paper that I use is definitely a little bit floppy, so I wanted to give them a little bit more stability in that pocket. And then the back of this card, as much as I love the black, and that works really well for this page, it says August, and it was July. and I needed somewhere to journal. So we're covering up August with a journaling card, and then I'm adding a cardstock hinge to have a flip up. So I'm going to put this, the secret to knowing, or to having it all, is knowing that you already do, which I think is perfect for the sentiment of this page. And then this card reads a little bit dirty to me, just the tasty bits. It's a little bit odd. But it is food related, and also I know that my dad just told a dirty joke. I know he did in that photo, so I think it was appropriate on multiple levels. I wasn't there. I didn't take that photo. My sister did. Anyway, so I thought it worked on multiple levels, so I decided to include it. I'm going to use multiple of the alphas from this month on the front of that card. It says summer salsa, fresh from the garden. My dad has a big, beautiful, glorious garden where all of these tomatoes came from, so that was perfect for this page. And then I'm going to use one of these love this photo vellum hearts just right here in the dead space of this photo, just to add a little something something. It also says the best things in life. But I'm still sort of feeling like there's not enough going on this page, and I know that that's just me. I like to add all the things all the time, so I kind of go back and struggle back and forth with it just a little bit to make it work. I'm just going to go ahead and let that adhesive word bit hold down the vellum heart. And now I need to decorate around this photo here so that it looks like it's done and not just half finished for me. And so I'd add another vellum heart, and it says a good day. I'm just going to use my stapler. I don't like adhering vellum because you can always see the adhesive, so I generally almost always use either something sticky on top of the vellum to hold it down or a staple to hold it down. So I have a bunch of little word bits over here on the side that I want to add. One of them says happy, and I really want to include that because my dad was really happy that we were there, obviously, so I think that that worked. I didn't love the way that this was all just red in the background, so I'm going to go ahead and take this white tag, and I'm going to glue it down because I don't really want it to come in and out. I just want it to be background and give a little bit more collage feel, a little bit more depth to this page, so I'm just going to stick that there. And then I'm going to add some of these sunflowers. My father and my stepmother has a very like Tuscan style kitchen. They are of the 90s. Well, at least they got married in the 90s. So they have their Tuscan kitchen, and so I thought that the sunflowers would match that kitchen really well. And then I realized that I accidentally took the backing off all the way, so I'm just sticking it back here. I wanted to stick to that photo. And then really there's not much more to add here. I can add a couple of things on the film or the photo strips, and I will. I'm going to add this delicious down here, but you know, they're tucked in, so you don't really want to add too much where it's going to be covered up. And then I really wanted to include this Grill Master, but I felt like I was just struggling with where to put it because it felt pretty repetitive with that other word bit there. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take this tag as sort of a buffer between the photo and the word strip, and I'm going to add happy on here too. So now it says Happy Grill Master, and it's just going to go down in this bottom corner where these tomatoes are. And it doesn't look too off center, or like not off center, off balance when I get it done, and that makes me happy because I got to include the Grill Master. But really I'm not going to add anything else to this page. Maybe I think one arrow, because first of all, this collection is not meant for cooking photos, so there are not cooking things in the collection. So unless I wanted to add flowers or butterflies, which didn't make much sense, I didn't have a lot to add, but also there's a lot going on, and really it's okay to keep it simple sometimes. I'm telling myself this. It's okay to keep it simple sometimes and just let the photos and the story speak for itself. So I'm going to add this little guy here, and then a arrow on the other side pointing at my dad, and we're going to call it good. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't done so already, I'm at Tracy M. Reed over on Instagram. I'd love it if you follow me over there. And there is a link to Cocoa Daisy in the description box below, and I will see you next time. Thank you.